All right, so let's take you there. Imagine this. Friday night, June 20th, 2025. You're in Miami Gardens, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium, and the air is just thick.
Yeah, thick with that South Florida humidity, right? But also with anticipation.
Totally. And the noise from, what, over 63,000 football fans packed in there, it was something else.
And this wasn't just any match. This was the big one. FIFA Club World Cup. Bayern Munich, the German Giants.
Facing off against Argentina's own Boca Juniors, a legendary club.
And wow, did it deliver. Way more drama, way more excitement than I think anyone really bargained for.
Absolutely. By the end, yeah, Bayern scraped a 2-1 win. They booked their spot in the knockouts.
But scraping is the right word. It wasn't easy. Calling it just a win doesn't really capture it, does it?
Not at all. It felt more like you said, a sprint through a jungle, just intense from start to finish.
Exactly. So today, we're not just going to look at the scoreline.
No way. We want to really unpack this game. The moments, the near misses, the tactics.
The sheer passion, especially from the Boca side, you could feel it.
That's what made it a classic, I think. We need to understand how Bayern got that win, but also why it felt so significant.
And it's all part of this bigger picture, isn't it? This Club World Cup, the 2025 edition.
Huge. First time with this expanded 32-team format.
Yeah, spread across 12 cities here in the U.S., running from mid-June to mid-July. And the prize money, what is it, $1 billion?
Something crazy like that. So the stakes are massive for everyone. And these two, Bayern and Boca, they were slugging it out in Group C.
Right, with Benfica and Auckland City also in there. It really is a test of global club strength now.
Okay, so let's zoom in on the pre-match vibe. Miami in June. You mentioned the heat.
Oh, it was brutal. Hard Rock Stadium must have felt like a sauna, honestly, even for a late kickoff.
Yeah, the fans turned out in huge numbers. It was incredible.
And the Boca fans, wow, just a sea of blue and yellow. It was vibrant.
The noise they made, the drums, the chanting, scarves everywhere. It seriously felt like a little piece of Buenos Aires had landed in Miami.
It really did. You kind of felt for the Bayern fans, you know?
Yep.
Plenty of red and white flags, sure, but maybe wondering if their team could match that raw South American energy, especially in that heat.
And the teams came in with different stories, right? Bayern had just demolished Auckland City.
Yeah, 10-0, a statement. Boca, meanwhile, had a real fight on their hands against Benfica, ended in a draw.
So the pressure was on. For Bayern, a win basically meant job done, through to the knockouts.
Yeah, potentially rest some key guys in the last group game. But for Boca, this was massive.
This was their chance to say, hey, we belong on the stage. We can go toe-to-toe with Europe's best.
Exactly. Make a real statement in this new format. Thankfully, that 9:00 p.m. kickoff probably saved everyone from melting completely.
Okay, first half kicks off. What were the initial tactical setups? Company versus Russo?
Well, Company's Bayern lined up pretty much as you'd expect. Neuer in goal, strong defense with Ta and Stanisic.
Kimmich, Goretzka, pulling the strings in midfield.
Yep, and then that attack. Kane up top, flanked by Olise and Coman. Serious firepower.
And Boca. How did Russo counter that?
They had Marchesín in goal, the experienced Marcos Rojo anchoring the defense, Merentiel and Zaballos offering that threat up front, looking for the counter.
And straight away, Bayern just seemed to settle, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. They looked like they owned the place, controlled the ball, passed it around. I think they had, 74% possession in that first half?
Dominating the ball. But Boca, they had a plan.
Absolutely. A classic low block, deep compact, incredibly difficult to break down. Their defense was, well, tighter than a drum.
And then came the first big flashpoint. Only 8 minutes in.
Right. Olise whips in a corner.
And it looks like it goes straight in. The Bayern fans go wild.
Instant eruption. But then the ref gets the call. VAR check.
Ah, the dreaded VAR review. What did it show?
It showed Serge Gnabry getting a bit too friendly with Marchesín, the Boca keeper. Bit of a shove, obstruction.
So, no goal. Goal disallowed.
Correct. Groans from one side, huge cheers from the Boca end. A big moment early on.
But Bayern, they didn't let it rattle them for long. Just 10 minutes later, 18th minute.
Yeah, they bounce right back. Lamer plays a neat pass into the box. Coman lays it off.
To Harry Kane.
To Kane. And look, his first touch wasn't perfect, actually. Boca defenders swarmed him.
But he's Kane, right? That composure under pressure.
Exactly. Despite the heavy touch, despite everything, he just calmly slots it home. Left foot, bottom corner. Clinical.
1-0 Bayern. And you could just feel the weight lift, maybe especially for Kane himself, with all that talk about trophies.
Absolutely. A huge goal for him and the team. The stadium just rocked.
And Bayern didn't let up after that, did they?
No, they kept pushing. Kane almost got another. Olise was causing all sorts of problems. Coman, too.
Just chance after chance, it felt like.
It did. But that Boca defense, led by Rojo, they just wouldn't buckle completely. And Marchesson, in goal, made some really key saves.
He was busy, kept them in it.
Definitely. So halftime arrives. It's 1-0 Bayern. But the Boca fans, still singing, still banging the drums, defiant.
They never stopped. It was like they knew the story wasn't over.
Yeah, you felt they still believed. And the second half, well, it was a different beast altogether.
It really was. If the first half was Bayern controlling things, the second felt like chaos. A roller coaster, maybe?
That's a good word for it. Roller coaster.
Yeah.
Boca came out absolutely fired up. They knew they couldn't just sit back anymore.
You could sense it immediately. The intensity ramped up.
And their fans responded. The noise level went from loud to, I don't know, deafening. It was like a wall of sound pushing their team on.
Incredible atmosphere. And then the breakthrough moment for Boca.
Yeah.
66th minute.
Magic from Alan Velasco. He just drove forward from midfield, played this perfectly weighted pass.
Threaded it through to Miguel Merentiel.
Yep. Merentiel still had work to do, mind you. Jonathan Tah was breathing down his neck.
Right, a top defender.
But Merentiel showed amazing skill, beat Tah, then rounded Stanisic.
And the finish over Neuer.
Just lifted it beautifully over Neuer from about 12 yards out. Incredible composure, incredible skill.
One. The Boca end just exploded. Pure pandemonium.
Absolute scenes. Drinks flying, scarves spinning. Merentiel just soaked it all in. He knew what that meant.
And for a while there, maybe 10, 15 minutes, it really felt like Boca could do it. Maybe even win it.
It honestly did. The momentum completely shifted. Their counterattacks looked so much sharper.
Neuer had to make that big save too, right? From the free kick.
Yeah, a double-fisted punch away from Kevin Zenon's shot. Crucial save at that point. The belief was surging through the Boca team.
But Bayern, well, they're Bayern for a reason. They weathered the storm.
They did. They didn't panic. They kept playing their game, kept probing, looking for an opening despite the noise and the pressure.
And then the chiller blow. 84th minute. Heartbreak for Boca.
Yeah, it came after a real scramble in the box. Bodies everywhere, looked a bit chaotic.
Like Black Friday shoppers, you said.
Huh. Something like that. But Kane managed to get control, laid it off to Michael Olise.
And Olise. He's been a revelation for Bayern, hasn't he?
He really has. Stepped up massively since moving from Crystal Palace. And this was a prime example. First-time shot.
Curled it beautifully.
Perfectly into the bottom corner. Marchesson had no chance. Just pure quality. 2-1 Bayern.
Devastating for Boca after fighting back so hard.
Gutting. And those final few minutes were just nerve-wracking.
Boca threw everything forward, didn't they? Long balls, desperate attacks.
Everything. But Bayern's defense? With Tah and Neuer holding firm, they saw it out. Just managed the game expertly in those last moments.
Final whistle blows. Bayern get the 2-1 win. Relief for them, agony for Boca.
Pretty much sums it up. Kane got player of the match, deservedly so, goal and assist. But Olise's winner was the moment everyone was talking about.
So let's look at the standings then. What does this result mean for Group C?
Well, for Bayern, it's job done. 2 wins from 2, 6 points. They're through to the round of 16. Top of the group guaranteed with a game left.
Which means company might rotate against Benfica and Charlotte. Rest Kane, Olise, maybe?
You'd think so. It makes perfect sense. Give some others a run out, keep the stars fresh for the knockouts.
But for Boca, it looks tough now.
Very tough. They're stuck on 1 point from that draw with Benfica. They absolutely need a miracle.
What do they need to happen?
Okay, so they play Auckland City next in Nashville. They need to win. And win big, like run up the scoreline.
Pile on the goals.
Exactly. Goal difference could be crucial. And even then, they also need Bayern to beat Benfica. If Benfica get anything, Boca are out.
So they're really up against it. And this loss, it broke quite a streak, didn't it, for the South American teams?
It did, yeah. That was interesting. Coming into this game, South American clubs were unbeaten in their first 9 matches of this new Club World Cup.
Wow, 9 games.
Yep. Earlier that same day, Flamengo beat Chelsea 3-1. Botafogo beat PSG 1-0. Real shocks.
So the South American teams were really showing up.
They absolutely were. Boca's loss to Bayern was the first time a European giant really put their foot down and stopped that run. It showed that despite the upsets, the top European sides still have that edge. Maybe tactical depth, maybe just experience in these big moments.
It definitely sets up the rest of the tournament nicely. But looking bigger picture, this whole Club World Cup format,
yeah.
That's a huge shift, isn't it?
Massive. It's basically a World Cup for clubs now. 32 teams, different continents clashing. It's a real test.
UEFA sent 12 teams, right? City, Real Madrid?
Yeah, the big guns. CONMEBOL sends 6, Boca, Flamengo, River Plate among them. It forces teams to really think about squad depth, rotation, dealing with different styles, different climates.
Like that Miami Heat we keep mentioning.
Exactly. It adds another layer of difficulty. It's producing drama, upsets, showcasing global stars. It's fascinating to watch unfold.
And for Bayern, this win, it feels like a statement, doesn't it? They mean business.
Totally. They're not just here to make up the numbers. They want this new trophy. And you see Kane, he looks absolutely driven.
Still chasing that first major silverware. Is this the one?
He's playing like he believes it could be. And Olise, only 23, stepping up like he did, that's huge for them. Plus, you still got Neuer back there, 39 years old, making vital saves.
Ageless.
Pretty much.
And for Boca, it's a long shot, but not completely over.
Technically, no. Like Russo said, we're not dead yet, but we need a miracle. Their fans were incredible, though.
They really were. They turned that stadium into La Bombonera for a night, showed the world their passion.
Yeah, Merentiel's goal was just sublime. A reminder of the quality they possess. They pushed Bayern all the way.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. Bayern Munich 2, Boca Juniors 1. But that scoreline barely tells the story.
Not even close. It was drama from start to finish. Kane's opener, that VAR call, Merentiel's brilliant equalizer, Olise's late winner.
All played out in that cauldron of noise and humidity at Hard Rock Stadium. It really showed what this Club World Cup can be.
Definitely. Bayern are through, looking strong. Boca hanging on by a thread, needing that miracle against Auckland City.
So what's the big question left hanging then?
Well, a few, I think. Can another South American side pull off a major upset against a European powerhouse in the knockouts?
Will Harry Kane finally lift that trophy? End the talk.
That's the multi-million-dollar question for him, isn't it? But maybe bigger picture. How does this massive, demanding tournament change club football? The calendar, the rivalries, the pressure on players.
It's a whole new world, really. Unpredictable, emotional.
Sometimes infuriating.
Huh?
Yeah.
Just like the game itself.